Hello, students. Welcome again to another subject, resource and technology. And our topic for today is fashion and me. We're going to look at elements of design. What are the two elements we'll be looking at today? Lines and texture. From the observation of these pictures, we can see lines created and you can see textures. What are the objectives? One, you'll be able to define the elements of lines and texture that will guide selection of clothes. Two, you'll be able to explain the basic rules and function of lines and textures used in designs. You'll be able to apply the principles of selecting lines and textures in fashion. Let us now discuss this picture. Looking at this picture, we can observe there are many different lines and we can observe some textures as well, showing both in the clothing and the accessories. How line works in fashion. Looking at these designs, you're seeing lines and they're going in several different directions. So let us find out what exactly are lines. What are lines? Lines create optical illusion and gives messages. The basic part of any design is formed by lines. The eyes tend to follow the direction of the lines in a garment design or on the fabric. Lines in fashion can be created by the structures or decorative features such as necklines, and you observe that below. Seams and hems as observed on the design below. From stripes, lines are obtained as well from plaids. Let us look at some examples of lines used in fashion design. The first one is a backpack, and we can see lines going in a particular direction. Look at this handbag. You can observe lines as well. Look at that hat. You can see lines going in some directions also. You look at this pair of shoes. You can observe several lines in these pairs of shoes. We have several different types of line. First one, vertical line. Horizontal line. Next, diagonal lines, curvy lines, structural lines, and decorative lines. Now we are going to look at how each line are created. First one, vertical lines. Vertical lines lead the eyes up and down, gives the illusion of height and thinness. When you observe this first picture, it appears the lady is tall. The next one, you're seeing the vertical lines going up and down. You observe it also on this t-shirt. Now let us look at horizontal lines. Horizontal lines give the illusion of width and shortness. Horizontal lines lead the eyes from left to right across the garment. Observe this design. The lower part of this garment you can see, or more costume. This looks more like a costume. The lower part of this costume has horizontal lines. You see horizontal lines on the tights, the skirt of this dress, and on this dress. There are several layers that made up the lower part of the dress, and you're seeing vertical lines being formed. Now let us look at diagonal lines. Diagonal lines are slant lines that draw your eye's attention to where they are used. Diagonal lines are often found in V-necks. There you can see one shoulder dresses, observed below, in stripe, and also on crisscross straps on this shoe. Now let us look at curvy lines. Curvy lines lead the eye around the garment. They create a feeling of movement. Observe the skirt. The curvy lines here are obtained based on the construction of the fabric. These curvy lines on this dress are obtained by joining pieces of fabric together. At the hemline of this blouse, you can observe curvy lines. Now let us look at structural lines. Structural lines are created by the formation of seams. We'll observe this blouse below. Seams are where you join two pieces of fabric together. From the observation of this blouse, we are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Wherever those 4 pieces are joined, creates a structural line. Pleated skirts, you are seeing structural lines. On this dress, you observe darts, and darts are structural lines. Now let us look at decorative lines. Decorative lines are created purely for decoration. Example, buttons, laces, flaps, and printed fabric. We observe the lace trim on this dress along with the pattern in the fabric. We can observe this as a trim onto this outfit. And we observe the buttons and the belt forming the decoration on this dress. Now we're going to look at another element of design, and that is texture. What exactly is texture? Texture is one element that you can see and feel. Fabric can have a variety of textures, all of which can affect the look of a garment or fashion accessories. Textures can be found in the thickness and appearance of a fabric or an article. There are two main types of textures. Tactile. What do we mean by tactile? Tactile are textures that can be felt by touching. And an example is softness, as seen in this sweater. The other type is visual. Texture can be seen. So, one example of a visual texture is shiny, as you observe in the picture. Examples of how textures are used in fashion. We look at that bag. Looks nice, but it looks coarse. We look at this other bag, also looking good, but it looks soft. When you look at this shoe, you look at the shoe has a combination of two types. At the front, straps look coarse, and at the back to the heel looks smooth. So there we can see textures being used more than one in one article. Now there are some words we use to describe texture. First one, soft. Next one, bulky, shiny, dull, smooth, rough, and crisp. Observe the picture. Based off the outfits, you can see textures reflecting in some of the outfits along with their accessories. Let's look at soft texture. It hugs and emphasizes the body. Example, a fur jacket, as you observe in this design. The next one, bulky texture. It hides the body shape and make you look larger and heavier. An example is a coat. Observe in this design as well. The next one is shiny texture. It reflects light and may make a figure look larger, as well as revealing figure irregularities. An example, satin, you observe in this design. Silk observes in the other design. And leather observed in this design as well. Let's look at dull texture. It absorbs light and generally makes the figure look smaller. Look at these examples. The next one is smooth texture. Smooth or flat texture will make you appear smaller than your actual size. An example, this nightgown. Let's look at rough texture. Rough or coarse texture adds volume to a large figure and may overpower small figures. Look at this jacket. You can observe the roughness of the jacket. This sweater looks heavy and coarse. At the front of this design, the embellishment appears coarse. This jeans as well appear to be coarse. Let's look at stiff and crisp texture. Crisp and stiff texture stands away from the body and hides figure irregularity. Those examples you can observe from the design. Look at those two little girls. You're seeing that their skirts are standing away from their body, which make you know that this material is stiff. In concluding, students, lines are elements of design that sends messages and gives garment structure. The direction of lines affect the overall design of clothing. Texture is observed in how the fabric or article looks and feel. The type of texture selected will affect the appearance of the overall total look. Now it's activity time. Are you ready? Let's go. We have two activities. The first one, activity 1. You are to source copies of 4 dress templates from the internet's image. along with a pack of pencil crayons or a pack of wax crayons. You'll use the templates along with the crayons to create designs, and those designs will represent types of lines. What are the types of lines you'll do? First one, you'll do an horizontal line. Then you're going to do a diagonal line. Then you're going to do a decorative line. And then you're going to do a vertical lines. Now I know, students, you will enjoy this activity because you will be able to create your new look, which will represent these 4 lines. Remember, most times we will say our design is spoiled, but there's no design that is spoiled, students. A design that you may think is spoiled may create or give birth to a new and different look that nobody has seen before. So you have fun, and I know you will enjoy it. Let's look at my templates that I used. I used 4 templates, and I'm going to identify 4 lines that I have used. Now, here's my completed activity. First one, can anybody tell me what type of lines did I create here? Did somebody say decorative? You are correct. I'll go to my next template. I created what type of lines did I create? Somebody say vertical? You are correct. Go to my next template. What type of lines did I create here? Did somebody say vertical, diagonal? You are correct. So this is a diagonal line. What design did I create on this template? Did somebody say horizontal? You are correct. Let's go. Okay, students, let us look at activity 2. Activity 2. You're to look at the pictures on the slide and identify the types of textures observed in each. Let's identify the texture. Number 1. What type of texture are we seeing? Yes, it is shiny. Number 2. This looks like a pair of jeans. What type of texture are you seeing? Did somebody say rough? You are correct. Let's look at this teddy bear. What type of texture are you seeing? Did you say soft? You are correct. Let's look at these nails again. What type of texture are you seeing on these nails? Did you say dull? Yes, they are dull. Let's look at this night dress. What type of texture are you seeing in this dress? Did you say smooth? Yes, but I did hear somebody say it is shiny as well. Yes, it can be shiny as well as it is smooth, but we are going to use smooth for our texture for this session. Let's look at number 6. Number 6, it's a leather jacket. What type of texture are you seeing? Yes, it is shiny. Let us look at number 7. What type of texture are you seeing in number 7? Did somebody say bulky? You are correct. Students, we have come to the end of today's session. Join me next time when I'll be looking at principles of design. See you soon.